This ain't the life that we chose, but it's the life that we live in. No, we belong on the top, but we ain't tripping, cause we'll get there in a minute. Yeah, we'll get there in a minute, cause we'll get there in a minute. No, we belong on the top, but we ain't tripping, cause we'll get there in a minute.
Yo, what's going on? We back again. We'll get there in a minute. Season 2, episode 3. You know what I mean? Shout out to Willie Fresco. Definitely had me confused on the drop in. No, I ain't gonna front, man. I thought we was playing. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to our production team, man. He's doing his thing.
Dropping in.
Yeah, you know. But anyway, what's good in the world, man? What's good in the world? As you see, I'm rocking some fly shit from my brother from the town, man. James Sakayan. Go cop some of that. RomanLabel.com. ROMAN label.com, man. Go get you some of that fly shit, man. Greenlaw's one of the flyest dudes I know. You know what I mean? But what's going on in the world today, man? What's up with y'all?
He's sponsored and shit. That's nice. That's nice.
What you doing out there?
No.
What's up, Sesh?
I said, nothing, bro. We chilling. You know, same thing as always. On here, talk some shit.
We want to get to the shits. You got some apologies. You got some apologies. Let's just get
we going right there to it?
Yeah, let's get to the shits. We cool.
So, you know, we gonna bust it off with an I'm wrong segment right away. I guess we didn't even want to talk about the weekend shit. Yeah, so you know, on a couple episode, I said Dru Hill wasn't legendary. I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna take back my statement. That is completely wrong. You know, it's partly I said it because they're from Baltimore and Sesh is from Baltimore. So I really don't like to. I like to go against the grain on that one, man. So I'm wrong.
Everybody likes to trigger me. Everybody likes to trigger me because it's I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, but there's certain levels to that though. You can't go too far with it. That's why I was just quiet, like I don't know about that.
I was wrong.
How did you come to this conclusion?
You know, I happened to get into a fire playlist, legendary shit, and they had about 5-6 legendary songs on my playlist.
Start getting to that bag. You realize,
the bag, the playlist is crazy. You know, got the SWV, You're the One going on. I got all type of shit. Like, shit is just crazy. And I'm looking down and I got, you know, some classic Dru Hill shit, some legendary shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
So this playlist you created, let me get this correct. You created this playlist. You put this together yourself.
I might have put it together myself, man. And as I kept putting together, it was
self-curated people. Self-curated.
You know. But I'm man enough to admit that I was wrong on the statement. You know what I mean?
Wait. We ain't gonna go past that without rewinding. So you said Dru Hill ain't shit and put a bunch of Dru Hill shit on your playlist.
I didn't say they weren't shit. I said they are all like, you know, this all-star players you look back and be like, yo, they had a great run. Like,
how much B2K did you have on your playlist?
How many what?
How much B2K did you have on that playlist?
You know, it wasn't the B2K era. They didn't really have it on the playlist.
Gosh. No doubt.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I was wrong. You know, it happened.
You weren't just wrong, bro. You were disrespectful.
I was.
Like disrespectful.
I was swinging for the fences. Thought I would have some people. You know, I was wrong, man. You know.
Okay. Yeah, I hate to beat a dead horse. Come on. You compared Dru Hill to B2K.
Did I say that?
I can't just let you apologize. No. This is more than an apology, bro.
Did I say
you know, we only have so many legends in Baltimore City. Well, like solidified legends, and you honestly argued me that B2K bump was better to make than anything that Dru Hill. Like this is just blasphemous, bro.
I don't know if I said that. We're going out of context. Bump is bigger nationally at that time than what Dru. That's because they were kid joint. It was going everywhere, right? McDonald's had them niggas. You go get your toy and you get a B2K CD with McDonald's. That's what I meant by that.
Don't double down.
That is facts about it as far as popularity at the time. You can't deny that. But Dru Hill is a better group by far.
I could tell you why he ended up in a hole that deep. I brought up the point, so Trev was like, "Yo, this has to be wrong. This is the worst point ever to be made. Why the hell would you call Dru Hill legendary?" That's what it was. Trev just felt it was so out of bounds, and it just didn't make any sense. So it was just one of those things. He just had to keep throwing dirt on it.
That shit is just about as crazy as Kev's excitement for playlists in 2021. I was like, I'm like, you know, it's crazy. I love his enthusiasm when he brought it up. I loved it. Just because it's like you can realize, like, after you have witnessed something, you've gone through something, and now you can see somebody witness it for the first time, and you're like, yo, it is what I thought it was. It's exactly what I thought it was.
And to make it even funnier, the man not only was like playlist, he just got Tidal and Apple Music. Like, he just got these things after we've been telling him for years.
Listen, bro, I'll get there in a minute, bro. I'll figure it out.
No, don't do that.
All isn't cheap versus inexpensive.
Yeah.
Your free trial ran up somewhere, and now you got another free trial somewhere else.
Nah, that's false. I had the Pandora going, and I realized it wasn't the best investment. So I started to look into options.
They still got Pandora rocking?
Yeah.
Listen to Tracy Chapman Radio.
Sanity right now.
Pandora was doing it before everyone else. They just weren't as I guess popular.
So was Napster. Doesn't mean you still have it, nigga.
Yo, you know, house phones were a thing, right?
That's a good point, man. But Pandora was doing the streaming music and the stations and all that. They was doing it before.
Shit me.
Goodness gracious. You know what that reminds me of? In 2013, my cousin got released from prison from doing 15 years, right? and we went to his little coming home party, and the Best of Both Worlds was playing, right? And he was like, yo, you heard what he said? I'm like, yeah, 11 years ago? Yeah, it was hard. That's you, Kev, except you weren't locked up. You were just in the crib. Like, yo.
Son chose his own freaking prison. That's just crazy.
He's really Patrick from SpongeBob. Like, under that rock. Yo.
So how is it treating you, Kev? How are these apps treating you? Do you like it? What's going on? It's like a new world now. You got more music to your fingertips. Like,
it is pretty impressive. I like the fact that I feel like I'm more in line with what's happening. But I also know I got a lot of catching up to do. So it's all right. I'm taking my time. I'm enjoying this journey. I can't.
Well, so we're gonna salute to your journey. Matter of fact, we're gonna cheers to your journey too, my brother. We salute.
That's so bad.
Cheers to Kev's journey, man. Cheers to Kev's journey. Getting in, to freaking the world of streaming and music.
So we made it.
So you know what's funny? I'm watching my little one go through this journey of discovery, learning to do things for the first time, having apples and pears and all this shit. And it's like I'm doing the same shit every day. It's like I feel like it's
Kev, we're not gonna do that.
Listen, bro.
Lil man's not even a year.
Yeah, you're 30.
I'm taking baby steps too.
No. There's information he is figuring out on his own. We are giving you information. By the way, if we are in a group chat, we send the links in the group chat. You would not go compare Hendrix to this right now. You're not gonna do that.
I'm hard headed to a point that it's difficult. So I'm working through
to a non-1-year-old going through life.
It can't be like this, Kev.
In terms of trying new things, bro, it's like that, bro.
Fam, you are a fully functional adult. You can drive, you can do everything. You are a fully functional adult.
Yo, Kev, my grandma had Apple Music popping, my nigga.
And listen, I'm not. So I can admit I'm not as advanced as some grandmothers nowadays. That's okay. That's okay. I'm all right with that.
The little man eating apples. He compared it to that. That's his first time eating an apple.
Yo,
Yo, that's
Cam,
a
I swear,
bar.
you the black no sexiest man,
Entendre.
bro.
Is Sonny eating apples? He on apple? Oh, that's hard,
Yeah,
kid.
you amazing for that one.
We got jokes. We got jokes.
Yeah. But Ward, how's everybody's week doing, man? I mean, how's going on? You know what I mean? That's just water right now, man. Water in the cup.
Yeah, you already.
how's the treating everybody?
See how Corona treating everybody? What?
That's the week. Corona's Corona, man. I mean, I don't.
Yeah. No. The week was alright, man. It was just get through the week. It's Friday. We get to do this kind of at the end of the day, so it's the week's a good week, man. Perspective is everything. Perspective is everything.
Pretty good week, I think, too, man. What's it look like on your week, man? What's going on over there?
Yeah, I mean, next week's gonna be a lot better, man.
Okay.
I'm starting, you know what I mean? Your boy hit rock bottom. Next week, I'm starting the journey, man.
Okay, and let's elaborate on that journey, my man.
We all taking journeys now. What's up? What's happening?
Yeah, your boy's on his weight loss fitness journey starting next week. Thanks to the good brothers at What Is Your Aim? You know, it's gonna come over, do a little assessment, little workout plan, little nutrition plan. You know what I mean? Big Turbo just gonna be regular Turbo real soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna get them right. So I'm pulling up tomorrow.
Large trouble.
You know what I mean? We're gonna make them Slim Turbo.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna turn them Slim Turbo.
That might be even harder though. Slim Turbo might be harder than Big Turbo.
Slim Turbo, yeah.
Slim Turbo.
Slim Turbo, man. What's going on in your world, Kev? We are always interested in what you got going on.
The Black Dos Equis, man, bro.
Got jokes. You know, life, man. Just I spent the day with the little one on Thursday. That was nice. It's always good to take a day to chill with the little mans. But other than that, just work, life. Can't complain, bro. Just doing what it do.
Okay, doing what it do. Yeah. So, you know, we had a Martin Luther King Day on Monday. It was a very, very interesting time with the many people sharing his quotes that may not follow suit with what he was talking about and his rhetoric. So I think it's really funny. You know, it always goes back to Sessions' consistency. But I mean, what's your take on it? Why do people like to share these things but not follow suit? Like it's the wildest thing to me, and I can't put my finger around it. You know what I mean, or on it, whatever the phrase is, or quote.
I'll just start by saying it's convenient. It's all too convenient to go with the flow on those days where everyone's in remembrance and being aware of what they were taught at one point. But then after that day or that week goes by, then it's back to their everyday lives. So it's convenient. It's in the moment. It's trendy. Mm-hmm. It's thrift. It's one of those things that people do because it's cool. It's just become another one of those hashtagable events, unfortunately.
Okay. Man, I'm not upset at it, man. I'm not upset at it, man. I'm trying to have a brighter look on life nowadays, man. I'm not upset at it, man. If somebody wants to post a Martin Luther King quote and then be at a Trump rally the next day, man, I appreciate it. Either way, man, I appreciate it. If you don't understand the inconsistencies in that, that's cool. As long as you feel like you're doing the right thing, I guess that's okay in the world today. It's okay. It's okay with me, man. If you feel like you're doing the right thing, it's okay with me.
What you got there, Deezy?
I mean, they've been doing this since the protests. Like, they've been saying stupid shit, like pulling out Martin Luther King quotes saying, you know, he was peaceful. This is not how he want to do it. And y'all are disgrace to Martin Luther King and what he was doing. So, yeah, it's a convenience thing. It's hypocritical. But it's not surprising in 2021. Like, it's not surprising. It's just something to laugh at. But it's really, yeah, it's nasty. It's nasty.
Yeah, it's the most interesting thing in the world. It's like that's not how he would want it, but it's crazy that we're still protesting, if you want to call it that, doing something that clearly has shown. I mean, I guess there's things that have worked, right? There is some things that have been passed, but and obviously there's many black leaders before him, men and women, but it's still funny that we're still trying to use almost that somewhat similar same tactic now, years later. We're gonna get into it, man. It's gonna be interesting because eventually, if we can stop the hypocrisy, things could get better. Things could get better, and it segues into, I guess you can say, better or not. I have my whatever. But we got a new president, y'all. We got a new president, new time. Everybody's running around happy like he's about to change the world, and black people singing all over the goddamn place. Big Joe was up there. He's the new president. What y'all take on it, man? What does it mean? What does it actually mean?
Nothing. Nothing. That just don't mean nothing. Sleepy Joe going through the same shit that Trump was doing. People just like him a little more. At least the people we know like him a little more. So it's just gonna be the opposite, man. It's gonna be a bunch of people complaining about him on the Republican side, same way that everybody on the Democratic side was complaining about Donald Trump. It's the same shit, man. It's the same shit, just a different side. It's going to be more on the lines of what I think we kind of align with socially, just because the Democratic Party, I think, is more so worried about a look rather than actual change. But yeah. But it's more of the same, ultimately, in my eyes, anyway.
I mean, I'm definitely hyped to go back to a little bit of normal racism, silent racism. That was cool back in the day. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? People was a little bit more quiet about it. Now, I'm gonna miss the openness about it though. Like, all right, cool. I know where you stand.
Yeah. Has anybody been like blatantly racist to your face? Like towards you?
Yeah.
Like in my face, I don't know. Me, I probably not. Y'all more on the Facebook side of it, but the people I actually know, I would say. Like, yeah.
100%.
I haven't. Go ahead, Deezy.
I said 100%. Me, yeah. I've had conversations where, and it was a work trip in Vegas, and I had actually have a girl tell me, because obviously, everything that was going on was, the topic of police came up. And basically how we exaggerate shit and, trying to incorporate rap music and the shit I listen to and, all of that into the mix. And I feel like, without Son being in office, that conversation might not have happened, especially on a work trip, which is wild. And I had to take time to break down like, hey, when you get pulled over, what is your number one concern? And, she's never gotten a ticket. And I'm like, yeah, I'm as blessed as you. I've never been shot. I've had plenty of tickets, but our concern's a little different. And then I had to go into it and she apologized, but it's just like, imagine how many conversations she had about that. Like, why are you talking about that? Because we started that Black Advisory Council. Like, why are you guys doing that? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Good for you. Now, I never had an encounter, but so obviously in the training business, I guess, kids, parents, and everything come and ask me for advice on situations of, hey, we got accepted to this school, but first that school. So there is an open coach who goes hard, right? To the point now, he has actually put his Facebook profile as Patriot Party, like joining the Patriot Party type shit. Like, we'll go hard, like this is not true, blah, blah, blah. And obviously we deal with all kinds of kids. So they'd be like, oh, well, what school versus this school? And I'm like, look, I got to be honest. Like, there's the varsity coach who is my guy. I'll ride for him. I know he'll do whatever, but you won't see until 2 years, and you got to deal with this coach. And I literally said I wouldn't send my kid if he was in that position to go to that school based off this coach. Like I wouldn't do it. And he ain't backing down. He out there openly, and I'm like, and the school's still allowing it, right? So it's, eventually it's gonna turn back. Like it's gonna get out there.
Interesting.
But Sesh, what about our versus battle we had?
What about it?
Remember when you and I were playing Gucci and Jeezy? I thought you encountered some bullshit.
I don't see that as like when I say like somebody just being openly like racist, that's not. I feel like somebody saying that that's like inadvertent. Like they don't understand what you don't fully understand what you're saying because culturally you just don't understand it. It's more so you being ignorant rather than you being racist. It's a little bit of racism in there sprinkled around in it, but it's not. I'm talking about like somebody just like it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like this person is racist. Like somebody like I don't know. Like I remember like as a kid, like you were sitting on it was a lady that lived down the road from Miss Ruby. Sit on Miss Ruby's step, she calling the police on you. Or you anywhere around her shit, like she calling the police on you. Like it was blatant. Like she had some hard feelings toward us as kids, and it felt like it was a little more than us just being mischievous. I know we was like you kids, it's still kids. You don't call the police on children. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, some deep movie shit.
Yeah. So but as an adult, I can't think of somebody just like being like doing some just like blatantly racist shit to me. Like,
but that was a significant part in the movie though. That's why I'm like, I don't know if I can roll with you. Because remember when the dude was like the prisoner. Well, we segue into that,
and we'll get there. So
we'll get there.
We might as well. Any thoughts from you, Kev? Anything you had, man? Kev's a lovable guy, so
he's talking about the presidency, but.
Yeah, so what I'll say is I'll start by saying shout to Amanda Gorman, the young lady who recited the poetry during the inauguration.
Talk about it.
For young black people who did her thing. So shouts to her. Shouts to Kamala Harris, being the first black vice president.
Kamala.
Kamala, there you go.
No, Kamala.
All right, so Kamala, sorry, I do apologize.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, shouts to her. Shouts to Kamala Harris. We'll chop that up real quick. But shouts to her for being the first female vice president. But other than that, I feel like you get those, what's the term now? Microaggression, where people will say things where they might feel a certain type of way, but they're not going to back it fully. But they'll make a statement or they'll say something and question something in a way that lets you know where they stand, but they also put it in terms that are politically correct and or appropriate for the setting. So there's ways that y'all always say, you put words around it, you make a word sandwich, and you could fluff something up real nice, but you understand the intention. Right? So
no, that's true.
Run into that more often than not, but especially where being individuals that probably won't take that lightly. I think people tend to choose their words carefully when they're in certain settings. But then, alcohol gets into their system and people get a little more brave and more free at the tongue. So you hear a bit more when people get a little more loose and inebriated. But other than that, it's the typical microaggressions. But shout to those beautiful young black women that are doing their thing now.
And Kamala's going to definitely have some stuff she needs to answer to, but we won't get into that. We're going to let her enjoy it. She's had her mistakes in the past like we all have had. But you know what else before we get into some serious stuff, man? Them motherfucking them Bernie Sanders memes
oh my God.
Off the chain. Oh my goodness. Grandpa Bernie is a real one for showing up like that. But them joints, the internet is undefeated. I will say that. I had to throw that in there. That joint is hilarious. If y'all haven't seen it.
I can't lie. I was looking for those mittens though. Those mittens are dope.
You look like you were looking for them mittens and shit. Like, little creepy ass mittens on you, man. Like,
I got some gray Jones. I got some gray mittens.
I'm surprised you won't just go and knit them yourself.
Nah, I'm not into knitting. I do sew though. I sew by hand.
Okay.
I got the machine, but
Grandma
it
wasn't an off thing. Kev, I know we do something of the sort.
Crochet.
I can use a thread needle.
You know, man, real crafty out here.
I can throw a button in there, fix a stitch if I need to. Grandma taught me right. It's all right. I ain't ashamed.
Nah, I wasn't with the knitting. I can't sit down with a needle and I'm good on that. But we're gonna segue again as always. Beezy said something that was very interesting. I'm blessed I haven't been shot. And that was interesting, and we're gonna get into it. I don't know if anybody's seen it out there, but the movie American Skin kind of alludes to what is going on today with some very, very telling points. And we're gonna kind of get into it. So if you guys did watch it, listen in. If you didn't watch it, we probably gonna tell it. So come back, fast forward, or whatever the case may be, or just listen to us break it down and then go watch it and view the shit for yourself. You know what I mean? We like the new Cisco and Eberts or whatever. We're like 8 people though. It's really 4 of us though. You feel what I'm saying? We out here giving movie
Cisco, but I know what you meant.
What is it? Who is it? Cisco? What is it? Cisco and Ebert? What is it?
Ebert and Robert. I don't know. I can't remember.
Right. It was original. It was Cisco and Ebert. Yeah, that was the originals.
So you're gonna make fun of me saying I'm wrong and don't know the answer. You were interesting. Look at him. He's trying to Google it right now. It's Cisco and Ebert, or 2 thumbs up for me. God damn it. But so American Skin. Quick synopsis. Ex-military guy. It was very loaded in certain things, right? So much things back in the military, right? Obviously the kneeling for the flag. So military people. This guy's a black ex-military, served, did his tours, fought in Iraq. Obviously came home to the realism. It wasn't a feel-good story in a sense that he's coming home with money. He was coming back home to the hood, wanted to get change for his son. In a sense, he got his son to a better school. Driving through a neighborhood, they kill his 14-year-old son. And an obvious prejudice situation, judgmental situation. So I just wanted to kind of get that in, and we're gonna dive deeper into it, man. So first of all, how'd y'all feel, man? What did what y'all want to talk about from it, man? I know there's a lot of emotion going on after I saw it, sent the text and was like, yo, let's all watch this shit and break this motherfucker down.
So I'm a feeler. I'm a feeler to start off. I have a lot of feelings all the time. So it was something that it was difficult for me because I felt like there was like several points throughout the movie. Like it was weird points too, where I think one where he was just sitting in his son's room and just kind of taking it in. There was like different points where I almost put myself in his position, and I felt like that was maybe more emotional than the actual time where they were trying to draw the emotion out. But there was just a lot of points that were talked about, like one of the points where he was sitting and interviewing with his mother, and she was telling her stance and her opinions. And I feel like a lot of the things that she brought up about education and being a son without a father, and just a lot of the things that she brought up were very like poignant and hitting points that I feel like were maybe too many body blows for one person to take in a 10-minute segment. But she was killing that shit. And there's just so many different things to take in, and it's what I would say about it is it was more of an experience than something that you watch. It's something you live through. You don't really just sit there and watch it. You feel that shit. Everything that's going on, you're right in there with them. You holding their hand, your hands on their back, like you're feeling their heartbeat go up as they're going through these experiences. So it's one of those things that is shot in a way that puts you in their living room and puts you in their shoes as much as they can, at least. So I appreciated that, and it was something that took a lot of deep breaths to get through in a sitting, to say the least.
I had so many mixed feelings. I really didn't want to watch that shit. Me personally, I didn't want to watch that shit at all. I just felt like it was a story that's been told. You kind of understand what it was, but then I come into it with that mindset and then start watching it and then find myself feeling emotions that like, all right, I kind of walked into it, coming into it, thinking like, yeah, I'm not gonna feel this way because I already know how this shit gonna be, and then like find myself 30 minutes into it, like, oh shit, oh, this some bullshit. Starting to get like starting to like it's starting to rehash feelings that I'm like, man, I'm not. And then by the end of it, it was a lot of it. It's a lot of shit that I think some people, if it's something that's near and dear to you, is you know probably a lot of it, but to see it on screen, the way it was shot in the form of like a documentary and like how he went about doing it, it was interesting. It was a lot of interesting plays. It's like something it probably would something like that ever happen. I guess it could. The likelihood of it is in my eyes might be a little slim, but just to see that out on a film, I think that's dope. The, to see that story being told in that way, it's just it was dope, man. It was dope. I enjoyed it, but didn't want to enjoy it. If that makes any sense.
What you got over there, DZ?
I mean, I thought it was great. See me, I overanalyze everything, so I noticed a lot of different things happening in the movie, and where I'm like, oh, this is great. Like some was in the military, obviously. You know, when you're in the military, you think about Ali, he's fighting a white man's war, right? So then he comes back home, you know what I mean, basically to nothing, busts his ass to send his son to a white school. His son is learning a bunch of white shit, just
Mm.
you know, for lack of better term. So he's really learning like the penal laws and his rights, and he has a right to resist, and how you can legally talk to police, and like what your rights are towards the police. That you would not get that kind of teaching in the public school system because you know what I mean, especially if you live in a trap, like them teachers gonna tell you like, you know, this is how you need to act. You know, when you're in front of the office, like they're not gonna teach that, you know, this is the way shit. No, you need to. I'm gonna teach you survival, especially if you have black teachers. Like you're in the hood, you know how to act. And his dad tried to teach him that, but it's hard to unteach something than it is to instill that in the beginning. So if he was able to reach his son and be like, hey, listen, this is the way it goes. When he was learning that shit, he could have learned that a little more objectively. You know what I'm saying? So that ultimately is what got him killed. And then when you fast forward to the end, you know, cop took his son's life. He decided not to take his life, and it ended up changing the cop's whole fucking way of thinking. And then he gets killed, and the cop has to witness that. Like, it's just it was very powerful, and a lot of people miss that kind of shit.
I think the layers to it. You touched on it in many different ways, but there's so many layers to
Fair.
the way the film was shot, the storylines, the fact that he like the mindfulness of that. I'm not going to take your life, but yet I want you to live your life knowing what I go through day to day. It was like one of those things that again, it's like the thought that goes into it to provoke that emotion so that you feel what they feel. It's something it's different. It's different, but I think it's something that a lot of people can get something out of. It's not something that's easy, I'm sure, for any parents to watch or anyone that is involved in it in any one way or the other. Whether you are a law enforcement officer and you have to happen to be a person of color, or you have children and you're black and you live in a neighborhood where the police treat you in this way all the time. So it's one of those things that I think people are going to have their feelings about it one way or the other, but it's something that is worth experiencing for sure.
And I think it was so complex on many different levels because right there's been a lot of times like Seth said this hasn't happened yet, right? And what he means is, you know, usually there's the protests and we're doing whatever the case may be instead of actually. I think it's every thought that has happened. I'm sure. I mean, I could be wrong or I could not be, right? But in my thought process, my view is if somebody was to do that to my child, that's the line I'm taking. All right. I don't think there's any way or any ifs, ands, or but about it. That's what I'm doing. Right? That's how I'm going out. So there is that layer. So now when you think about it, movies sometimes can kind of tell at times the future and where it's going. And it's almost like just listen to it so this doesn't happen. Because he said in the line, man, we're tired of being peaceful and having to be the people to be like, oh, the police made a mistake. Like, we're tired. It's gonna be a point, and we're showing it time and time again that motherfuckers is getting tired out here. You know what I mean? And the same points of, oh, black on black crime, what about this or this and that they go into, they tie into. And for what I mean to the audience out there listening is this guy goes ex-military, so he has guns. He got a team of people who are like, yo, I'm ready to ride. So they go and they grab the police chief and then they hold up the building. I think that is a possible scenario, and I'm not saying it's the way that it should be or whatever that case may be, but it's really something to think about. Right? There is that layer, and then on top of it, what makes it so deep, I think that's what really hit me. I looked at it from both perspectives, right? I looked at it as from the dad perspective, but then I also looked at it from a step back, and I was the 14-year-old kid who had got killed, and then now, after they give, the cop is not guilty, right? They go to the mom's house to make a statement. So then I took that and was like, man, if that was me at 14, and they're going to my mother's house to make a statement to calm everybody else down or whatever the case may be, like, that shit hit me too when I looked at it that way. So I looked at it in so many complex ways. Like, I'm with the dad, and then like, what would my mom do, or what would I want her to do? It's like it's so deep when you get it, and you could just break down each little section. So like you said, Kev, I was feeling, I got my feelings, and I put myself in the shoes each time, from being there. So. It was.
And I think one of the things that caught me off guard was how much, to a point when the police officer was giving their side. Again, not to say that I put myself in their shoes because I've never been in that line of work, but you were able to hear their side and understand that, again, they are people trying to get home to their families, but it's still the layers of it was they always captured it in a way that it's like, yes, they're human, but yet they're upholding something that is wrong and needs to be corrected. So there's always that way that they try to humanize those officers, but then always brought it back to the reality of what they were actually doing day to day. So that was the thing that I felt like, it's like, yes, we understand as people, they are people, but they're doing some shit that we need to correct and we need to move forward with, because the way that they've been handling it is not correct. So I appreciated the fact that they were humanized, but also they were showed to be wrong and not doing the right things on a day-to-day is the way that I would put it, at least, is that because they gave you like all sides, not just the family and the victim side. They gave you the side of the people that are carrying out what they call as justice, but then also let you know that what they call justice is not true justice, because that's something that's brought up throughout the film, is the meaning of justice.
Well, I'm glad they were humanized to you. At no point in this film was they humanized, or I'm like, oh, yeah, I understand you want to get home. Don't fucking pull over black people driving through a white neighborhood. And your excuse is, this is how we solve crimes. Like, no, that's not humanizing. And the people that's humanized to are the people we talk about every week. So I can't agree with you on that point at all.
I gotta push back on that. Because I agree with some of what Kev's saying. I agree almost 100% with Kev was saying, because I felt while I was watching it, that was a tough part in the movie for me, because I understood what he was saying. The reason I'm not sympathizing, I don't sympathize with him for the fact that you are pulling over black people. It's just the fact that you're within a system that you don't even realize you're within. You're in a system that's telling you, like you say, he said it, like this is what we're taught. So you're upholding something that is way bigger than you. So you're upholding a system that you have no idea that you're in. Not saying that, not absolving you from any wrong or right, any wrongdoings that you might have done. But I can look at that situation and understand, like, okay, this person is way in over their head. And if, let's say he is convicted, let's say he would have shot him. Honestly, I thought the movie would have been a lot better if he would have shot him.
I don't.
If he would have killed dude in there, I thought the movie would have made the movie amazing.
It would have killed the whole basis of the argument of the movie. But it's like, you can't say, like, I don't know. These are grown ass men. You can't say like I'm trained to do this. You're trained to know right from wrong. Like by how you like you're an adult. You know right from wrong. So if you're being trained to be unkind to someone and stereotype, you have the right to say I don't want to do this.
I think you're giving
Like
people too much credit.
I'm giving people too much credit, and
Yeah.
that's the reason this whole system is fucked up because there's not enough people holding these people accountable for you know what I mean? Like you're in this position, like this is what I mean. We hold rappers and all these other people to a higher standard than we hold our officers and our people in office. Like it's the wildest shit in the world. Like we get mad like Kodak and Wayne did some dumb shit, but when a cop does some dumb shit, it's just like, you know what? That's the system that's the system they grew up in.
100%.
But we
100%.
calling them bozos every chance we get.
No, but I think I see both sides of what everybody's saying. So it's like for movie purposes, for you have to show that side. You have to. And is it wrong or right? We know it's wrong, but we have to show that side in order for it, right, to be that discussion.
Agreed.
It's yeah, I guess you have to show, I guess, the human side and talk about the human side of how they're flawed, and how they're very flawed. It is tough, like we're humanizing them when they're dehumanizing us.
But that wasn't my point. Like I know what the movie was trying to do, but not at any point in that movie was I like, I kind of get what's going on here, and no, it's not humanized.
I don't know if I get the point of the movie that showing the argument sides back that we always get. That
no, that's necessary.
Right, exactly. It's to pull you in the different directions. Is the point that I'm making? It's like they pull you in one direction to then again bring you back to reality and let you know that this is the way that it's carried out, and this is what's real, and this is what happens every day. So it's like it's that back and forth, that tug to.
And the other thing
that wasn't my argument though. My argument was you saying I kind of get what he's saying. That's where I disagree with you and Sesh. Like you saying I get where he's coming from. It's just like I can't. Like I can't.
You can. I'm not saying I agree with
he
him.
shot a 14-year-old kid in the back, bro. Like
100%. 100%.
You can't say he wanted to get home safely. This boy was trying to run from you with a camera phone.
Absolutely, and he was dead ass wrong. He was dead ass wrong. But what I'm not saying that it was wrong or right. I'm not agreeing with it I'm not agreeing with it. I 100% disagree with it. But for me to say I don't understand why he would do it is something totally different. Understanding something isn't agreeing with it. I understand why you're scared. You're scared because you're taught to be scared of a certain amount of people. And it's fucked up because you don't understand that. I understand why you're in a system that you don't even understand. You're being controlled within a system to view certain people a certain way. I can understand why it's fucked up. Now you got a gun to your head and you got to talk to your kid and your wife before you think you about to die. I can humanize with somebody in that position. 100%.
I can't.
And it's the toughest part because unfortunately they always get to be human and we don't.
That's
100%.
Thank you.
And I think that was one of the biggest statements that you made is that and that was something that even while I was saying it, I didn't make the connection, but once you said it, it drove the point home to me is that we're always looking to humanize those that have brought harm upon us, but then we're not ever the humans. Like we're always just those evil people that are bringing harm upon others. So that was big.
And I think one of the telling parts of it all, right? There's so many damn layers, and I'm glad we can kind of go back and forth in different plays, and so that way, if somebody still wants to watch, they still got to watch it. But to have one of the cops made, how can I be racist when I have a black chief? And to me, and it wasn't that the fact that he said that, because that's usually the normal part about any argument when it comes to racism. I think something was telling for me, and maybe you guys can attest to it or have a feeling towards it. The black chief never said a word.
Mm-mm.
And I think that silence of that was also very telling.
The silence.
Yeah,
it was. It was.
He didn't say a word. He only went to the mom's house. No, he went to the mother's. No, I think he said it's over or something. Like he didn't say anything of the arguments being based. Even when, like for example, we taught how they're saying they were taught to do this. He didn't. He never said a thing.
But he also told the dad after his employees shot his uncle, this is not going to end well. This is not the way to go about it. So he said a lot by saying very little. And what he did say, and every line he had in the movie was crazy.
Like he was the black man to go to the black house.
Yes.
Tell the mom to silence everything.
Yes.
And never spoke up on any of the issues that was going on.
Because another thing, did you ever realize that the only time the N-word was used was in that scene when the cousin was talking to the captain?
Yep.
Yes.
That was something else that stood out to me. Like literally stood out like razor blades, right? Every time he said it with such like it was cutting his skin, like a cut by, or what is it, death by 1,000 cuts. Mm-hmm. He was just ripping into him with every syllable, every word that he like spit out was like meant to be a body blow and meant to get at him. And that was, I think, also something that was done with a lot of intention.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your thoughts behind him not speaking up? Like what does that symbolize? What is that trying to convey? What message is that trying to bring on?
He understands what.
Yeah, just because you put someone there, that doesn't mean that they have that. Their power is not within the position. I think is what that says. Is what I got from it. It's like they may have that position, but there may not be any power.
This is his chance because he doesn't know how it's gonna go.
Right.
So he still never said the truth. So that to me is you know what I mean? That's bugged out to me.
That could be his truth. I mean, every black person ain't riding for black people. Like this is, you know what I mean? Like people don't understand that. Like,
and I'm not. And that's the thing. That part leaves me with so much unclarity, confusion because he didn't say anything. He didn't say he agreed or not. He just sat back and didn't say a word.
Well, I think that speaks a lot to what like kind of what DZ just said. Is it speaks that maybe that's his truth in a sense where as a black man in that position, you don't get to that spot as captain on the force by speaking your mind whenever you feel like something is wrong or right. It's more so biting your tongue and holding back whatever you really want to say. So in a sense, him not saying something is probably his truth. Like I just like when shit like
I feel you on that, but like my point is at that particular time, it's not. He don't know, right? We don't know if they're gonna finish them off or not. What is his truth? Like we can, and obviously we're speculating the whole time, but it's like obviously we know, like we know in the workforce you can't really speak your truth when they put somebody in a position of power of that magnitude, right? As a chief black police, you can't really say certain things. We know that, but this is a time right now where he does not know what's going down. Right now, you were tied up. There's guns, whatever, and they are as your mindset. They're looking out for blood.
But you gotta understand, he's probably thinking I'm going from police chief to mayor in a month. All I gotta do is keep my mouth shut. You know what I mean? Play the OJ role, and I'm there. Like that shit happens so often. Like, I mean,
that was so powerful to me that like he didn't speak up the entire time, and that's another system, another layer, another complex.
Man, we know people like that. I don't know why this is surprising to you. We know people personally like that.
Of course, no, it's not that I. Wow, yeah, but I wouldn't say they're in that position of power at a time of uncertainty, where you don't know whatever you're gonna say. Like this is like your last. This is like when you're on.
This could be the last thing you say, kind of thing.
Exactly. Give me something. Because you don't know.
So you're gonna spend your last possible moments trying to be something you're not.
I'm not.
You
I'm.
were
And
who
that's,
you were before
I'm
you
not
got
saying
here.
it doesn't matter whatever he is. He could be right or wrong, wrong or right. What is your stance, bro? Because everybody else is
And
going.
I see what Trump's saying because there was the one dude that who spoke up. What did he say? He's like, who's gonna defend the cop? He's like, well, I guess you just volunteered. So it's like there is that one person that spoke up just because they felt like this is wrong and this is my stance and I'm gonna back this. So he didn't take one stance over the other. He wasn't the I'm a proud black guy. I'm a proud black cop. I'm a cop. There was the Latina cop. I'm a woman. I'm a
Yep.
Latina. I'm a
Something.
cop. Like she broke down the dualities of her identity, but like Trevor's saying, he didn't offer up a stance at all. So I think, like he said, that silence in and of itself spoke like so much louder than those few words. Like, oh, we need you to do this. We need you to bring the peace. We need you to do something that is going to bring the community together, or however it was that he phrased it. And then again, this isn't going to end well. So it's like it's those things that those few lines I think are chosen wisely to say that those people are, or unfortunately, when people are put into certain positions, it is to tame the masses and to appease those that may have an opinion that can get rowdy or out of hand. So it's one of those things that again, it's something I need to watch again because I feel like I may get more out of it the second time because I may not be as emotionally attached. So it's something that I'm gonna probably dive into a little bit more. But it's an interesting take on it.
No, I feel Son is a coon, but I don't blame his stance. You
And that's
you
the thing.
you like if you in a room with people with a bunch of guns, like you know what I mean, on the defensive side of it, there's not much you want to say to provoke shit.
Yeah, your best bet
Because
is shut the
you
fuck up.
defend the black dudes, they can shoot your team. You defend the officers, they can shoot your team. So sometimes you just gotta exercise that right and be like, hey, listen, I just gotta.
I feel you, but at this moment, and this is why it's so deep because they're all tied up. They haven't. These cops are going back and forth. There's no. They ain't been shot at all, right? He's giving all the due process, whatever. There is context where they're saying whatever the heck they want right back. I'm thinking of the Spanish cop who was going off.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't once pull the trigger. So there's got to be at least one of these times where, yo, interject. And I think that to me was just.
Okay, then. What would you have said?
Me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, shit, I don't know if I'm going to say the truth.
What you gonna say?
I would talk about how fucked up the system is, in my opinion. That is, we do judge this and that, and maybe I would have, if I was him in that position, there's probably a reason he got there, like we talked about. I might have released some demons that, hey, I had to do this to my own kind. If that was me in that position, right? You know what I mean? Like that, and I like, hey, this is a time we should actually listen. Because if I'm a police chief and I'm looking for peace, this might be something we could. This is going to be changed. This is going to be monumental. No, this happened to me when I was here at your time. What I had to go through, how I was looked at, how I was perceived, what I had to do. Right? Because they're just going off, spewing a whole bunch of stuff, and they feel like they have a good captain, a good chief, and he's not saying nothing. That is the leader of the program at this particular juncture and didn't say a word.
But that's why. That's probably why he's their fearless leader, because they get their shit off and he doesn't say nothing about it.
Yeah.
Like they literally told him black people ain't shit in front of him, and he said nothing.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it was that was the deepest part of it all. It was almost like you have power, but you don't.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So he did.
Even at a time that you don't, where you're unsure, you still are scared. And
yeah, me personally, I thought that the most powerful moment was the fact when he was talking to his I don't know if it was his ex-wife or his baby moms, whatever it was. And he was kind of saying how we're always we're always supposed to be like kind of like the turn your like forgiving. We're supposed to be the ones that's forgiving. We're supposed to turn the other cheek, kind of forgive, but
take it on one cheek, take it on the other, and then walk it off. Is what he says.
yeah. And he was kind of fighting back, and then that's why I was like, yeah, I was with it because I couldn't understand that. I could understand somebody being angry and doing that. That's why I thought like it would have been dope if he'd have actually killed the cop. I thought it would have been dope. It would have been something that I wouldn't have saw come. I didn't think he was going to shoot the cop because it had to fit this certain narrative of what it just played into what he was already talking about, and it kind of
right. But that's the part that makes it that we still are subconsciously shackled.
Yeah, but how you gonna break those shackles by showing something like it was just show, especially with everything that happened, like with at the Capitol and with the majority of those people being white. I'm sure it was probably a few. I don't even know. I didn't see no black people out there, but
there was one.
But it just made me think, and that's kind of what I was saying. Like, soon as they felt like you get a remnants of, you feel like you're not being heard. Something that black people have gone through for thousands upon thousands of years. That soon as you feel that way, you go storm the Capitol. Black people, what we do is we forgive, we go rally, we do this, we try to peaceful, but you go storm the Capitol. So that's like it's a different feel about it. It's a different feel about how they go about doing things, and it's like we gonna take it. Like if black people today just decided to get guns and just and do their thing, like say we taking what was took from us. That would be the logical explanation for somebody being being wronged in a sense, especially in this country.
But I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question. Let's dig deeper into what you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think most people expected him to shoot the cop.
Yep.
Now, my only thing is, if he shot the cop, right, goes back to Kev's human thing. If he shot the cop, we're not looked at. Black people are not looked at as human anymore.
No.
We become dehumanized in that moment. So now, even in a deeper thing, look at it. The reason that showed us being human is him actually not shooting the cop.
Bingo. And what was the cop's response to that? The cop said, I understand what you go through, and I want to walk you out the door.
Mm-hmm.
So he changed the cop's whole life.
He said, I question everything. Like I'm questioning everything that I've ever thought ever before. Like
it's a fucked up layer. It's a fucked up idea. But really, the only way to show us as human is having to go through all that shit.
Is not doing shit.
Which is right, but that is the only way. Because if you look at the movie, if they would have shot, and other people are watching this movie, right? Because this is a movie that people on the other side technically could watch and still go home at night and be like, yeah, that's supposed to happen. Right? But really, if he shot the cop, it's, oh, look at, right? It gives us that animalistic, blah, 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 which is fucked up, right? Because rightfully so, like I said, if that is the way my brain would work out if somebody ever did that.
I think
there's so many ways of how movies have to show how we, like, the human and dehumanized side of things that are just so deep. It's so deep. This is why I'm glad we got into it, man. Like,
absolutely, I don't know, man. It was. I'm not watching that shit again. Me personally, I'm not.
I watched it twice. That's how I got into it, and that's why I noticed the cop didn't say anything the second time. And I missed things that I had to before, that I did before, that I didn't want to watch it. I'm gonna be honest. Second time was hard. I was definitely texting a little bit more, trying to keep my mind off of it, but still be like, can't look, right? Can't, it was tough in that aspect. But just another thing, and we'll finish off and we'll move on, right? It's deep, but the ratings on that movie, 5.4, 6 point, like Rotten Tomatoes gave it some bad.
27. Yeah, it was terrible. It was pretty
Man,
bad.
fuck Rotten Tomatoes, man.
No, but on a deeper scale and a deeper point, because Kev, I think you brought it up about the ratings, right? Or was it Sesh? Somebody
Got brought up earlier at some point.
who put in the screenshot? Somebody put in the screenshot.
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sesh did. And I think Kev was like, really? Only that rating? So then now, subconsciously, what happened with my mind? Who was doing the ratings?
Bingo.
Right, because you got to think about who's paying attention to ratings. Like you and I are gonna watch a movie because of ratings. To be realistically honest.
That's
Like-
not right. No, that is incorrect. I watch a lot of majority of the movies I watch is because of ratings.
I don't agree with that. I
Literally,
think
if
it's
somebody
more-
says it's not good, I'm not gonna watch it. More than likely.
It's good, but if the ratings are one thing, but then you hear from the people that you trust on certain things that, oh, this is a movie worth watching, you're going to pay attention to that.
But
So
that-
Yeah.
in reality, everybody has their circle. So
But to
ratings
the
are one
point,
thing.
Kev, if
but-
that movie was rated like it should have been, it would have been broadcasted out more. But the only reason we watch it is because I was like, yo, watch this. Over something I heard.
That, and also, honestly, I think it was around Christmas that it was. I want to say it was the basketball games on Christmas Day or something that happened around the holidays. It was being like aired, like the trailer was aired around that time. I'm just letting you know that it was.
Disney movie Pixar Soul?
Right.
That got great ratings, right?
I heard.
Okay, when did it come out?
Sometime around Christmas.
The same time everything was airing out. So ratings have an effect, my brother. If that was rated like Soul, everybody would have watched it. There was a
But it's
reason.
all about advertisement though, because I feel like that was on every network and it was on this rate network and this stream and this banner. So I think it's all.
So now let's go deeper. Who controls the ratings? Who controls the advertising?
That's the money that's being put behind it. Whatever.
Kev, who made that movie? So Kev, who made that movie? Want to talk about advertising? Who made that movie? American Skin. Guess who's behind that project?
Nate Parker is the name that stands out to me.
No, big names.
Nate Parker is the name that stands out.
Spike Lee is on that project. That's his. That's his. You talk about. There's a reason why Spike Lee's getting invited.
That's probably why he got a trailer.
Nate Parker. You know Nate Parker?
I don't. That's probably why the trailer got a play sometime around Christmas. And
So you don't know Nate Parker, but that was a standout name to you.
I know Nate Parker, Mari Hardwick.
Yeah, I know that too. But Spike Lee, man, it's a Spike Lee joint.
Spike Lee joint.
Spike, baby.
I think there was reasons behind it purposely.
Politics, man.
I think
Fuck
it made
Rotten
too
Tomatoes,
much sense.
man.
It's because what's gonna happen if people do, people watching us, they're gonna check it out, and I guarantee you, they're not gonna think it's a bad movie. You might not be able to read the replay value of it is not high.
For me, it is.
I can't just watch that movie and eat popcorn. I can't do that.
I love that shit, boy.
I'm cool on that.
But
I'm cool on that shit.
I
I can't even.
I just thought it was an interesting perspective and take on that with the ratings. And feel what I'm saying on that? But word. So word of the day. Help me out with this one, fellas. Y'all know, listen, I got my masters, but you know what I mean? It wasn't an easy road. Persevere. Did I get that?
Yeah.
there you go.
Come on, man. You know what I mean? That's why we go through takes, man. We go through takes, we get more professional, persevere. We always like to go out with a positive note and just talk about some. I think this was a hell of a, man. We were saying on some points. Persevere. What does it mean, man? Like, what was it last week, man? We got so many topics. But persevere, what does it mean? What does it freaking mean, man? What does it mean to persevere?
Coming out the other end, man.
Y'all want the official definition?
Give us an official, then go into your what it means.
Let's go, Kev.
Continue in a course of action, even in the face of difficulty or with little or no prospect of success.
That shit coming out on the other
Coming
side.
out the other end, exactly. So that's like with very little to see through the other side. It's like continuing to take those steps forward, not knowing that there's going to be ground under your feet. It's one of those things. It's like continuing to have that faith in the journey without really understanding the end destination.
Yeah. So DZ, what made you persevere? How did you do it? Right? Because obviously we're all gonna touch on every story. We've all got some type of whatever, but like for anybody out there listening, like how did you overcome it? You know what I mean? This is you know, if people don't know, I might put him on the spotlight a little bit, but this is a man from legit the projects to the mansion. He is what rappers talk about without having
I don't have a mansion
to do rapper shit. And I think it's very important. I mean, you know, we're all homo, like we're all that, so we're gonna just touch definitely a little bit on that space. But you are really what I'm from the projects, and whatever, give or take, you're close to a mansion, my brother. All right, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in lack of better words, man, you are really what rappers are talking about in their thing. But you own yours.
Not by the square footage, but by the aesthetics, suckers.
So as Seth says, coming out the other end and kept giving us the definition, man, like, you know, what does that mean? How did you do it? What did you have to do, right?
I mean, well, Sesh fucked me up either the last week or the week before with the goal setting thing, and I always had a goal, like, you know what I mean? Like my plan may have switched, but I always had a goal, like, you know, especially when I had my first kid, I said, you know, I'm gonna be educated, married, and own a home by this age, and this age.
Mm.
You know, well, everything was late, but I made sure I accomplished every single goal. Like I switched, you know, put down the dumb shit I was doing, and I said, you know what, I could be a better parent from outside the jail system or, you know, outside the grave. So I need to switch what I was doing, and I had outlets. I had, you know, a brother in college. You know, went up there. It was a great vibe. So I didn't see the reason, you know what I mean, and not taking that route and really grinding in school and working and doing what I needed to do to get to where I needed to go. And it was, and fuck it, let's get into it. Fuck it. Like people look at, even after, you know, I left Huntington, like people think like it was just easy. Like people don't know, like, you know what I mean, in 2014, like for a month straight, I was legit like homeless. Like when I was in Massachusetts, like chasing my career. Like when I left Bangor and yeah, the weekend you was fucking with me, like I was literally staying in motels, you know what I mean, with roaches and shit in it, and was legit like homeless and shit. But like I had to get to it. It was a big promotion. Like I had to do what I needed to do for my resume to get it done. Like, you know what I mean? Like people don't understand. Like I was, you know, maxed out credit cards. Like I was, you know, overdrafting. Like people just see like what it is now, but they don't see what it took for me to get it. Like I was fucked up for a lot of years doing this shit legally. Like a lot of uncomfortable living with a smile. Like, but I knew where I wanted to go, and you know, I'm still not there, but you know, I'm still gonna do what I need to do to get there.
So, just a quick tip, word of advice. What would be your best way to be like how to persevere? Then we're gonna go to Baltimore City on that one, man. Mr. Baltimore, in a second. What would you say? Like word to sum it up, man. Which is tough.
Word, I think a lot of people need to realize like there's no easy way to get to where you need to go. Like you need to plan out how you're gonna do it, and you need to take the tough, sustainable road and stop looking for the quick road, because sustainability is the key to it. Like you want the shit to last. You don't want to get rich and lose it all the next day. You know what I mean? You want to build a foundation, and you want to take the hard road, you know, take some losses, you know, do what you got to do early So then when you come out the other side, you stay out the other side and don't let anybody take you off your path.
Mm, mm,
Mm-hmm.
mm. Fuck with it. We getting into some shit. Sesh, man, you from Baltimore. You know how I feel. Like, listen, man, I went out to Baltimore for New Year's Eve one time. I didn't think I was gonna make it back out.
That's a problem in itself. Somebody from New York coming to Baltimore for New Year's Eve, but yeah, man, it's. I think when you say persevere, it's like I said, making it out the end, realizing that the tough time's not gonna last. It's only the tough people that end up lasting in this in what we in the game we call life. It's just kind of realizing that I guess, like I said, it's not gonna last, and that out the on the other end, as long as it's the name of the game is kind of understanding those situations are just a microcosm of life. It's just how you respond to those situations is what's going to make it going to determine how your life turns out. So you can either soak in those tough moments and let those the feelings, the situation overtake you, or you can look at it as a lesson and grow from it. And that's ultimately that's what persevering is trying to changing your perspective on a situation, on a bad situation, to make it good, to make it a win for you. Try to change the mindset that you got from it to come out on the other side of it.
And I don't mean to cut you off if I am, but you said something that was key in there. I want you to kind of touch on that. You said changing your perspective, right?
Absolutely.
The tough part when you persevere, how do you change? What keeps you to change that perspective, right? What was there that, maybe I'm thinking of a time for you in college when you had surgery multiple times, right? I'm sure there was some type of mindset like, damn, what the fuck? But there was something that kept you going. How did you change that perspective? Because that's the hardest thing, I think.
It was I always understood the fact that it was a setback. If you depend on the setback means nothing if you come back harder. So it was just like, all right, yes, it's a setback, but now it's time to grind. So when I grind, it's gonna be like, oh shit, it makes the comeback that much harder because everybody understands what you went through. They understand all that. So you just, like I said, you just you have to make it out the other side. There's no other choice but to make it out the other side. Don't care how you come out the other side. You just got to make it out the other side. You got to survive. It's kind of like what we're dealing with the coronavirus thing. Everybody's in the house for the most part. Like your movement is limited. Whether you want to listen to the rules or not, your movements are limited. It just is what it is. And some people can't deal with it. And you see it. People are like, just don't. If you don't have that dog in you, if you don't have that fight in you, that time alone, that time in one space, like the limited movement can take you over. But if you keep playing, keep pushing forward, it ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be easy by any means. But if you get to the other side of it, something's going to change. I think this, just like with any economic downturn, two things are happening. It's going to be a lot of people losing money. It's going to be a lot of people making it. So you can kind of play it on which side you want to be on. And I think if you can come out on this other side, if you can come out, especially when we talking coronavirus and everything that's going on in the world right now, if you can stay consistent, stay who you are, and come out it at least where you were at the beginning, you're gonna be up. You're gonna be up compared to everybody else. So just like I said, just push through it.
Love it. Kev, what's up, man? You gave us the dictionary, you gave us a term, and now your wheels is out there turning. What you got for us, Kev?
Nah, I feel like y'all made some great points. I would just say y'all touched on perspective a bit, and the definition says, like, part of it is with little or no prospect of success, and I think that has to do with like your definition of success and where that takes you and your perspective. Because again, success for one person doesn't equal success for everybody else. So understanding that perspective and knowing what success is for you and what you need to do to get there. Understanding, I think, for a lot of people that what the next man eats don't make you shit is important. So kind of keeping that in mind when you do your daily grind, I think is really important. That's something that led to me still owning polo boots in 2021. I'm just saying, bro. Like I really put it out there, bro. I don't give a fuck.
Funds is crazy. Go
So,
ahead.
listen, I'm just saying, in general, success to one person is not the same as success to everybody else. So understand what that means to you and build what you need to build to get there.
I think at the end of the day, man, to persevere, for me, it was just I just always saw I guess the world differently. As far as I always knew there was more, so I wanted to go see what more looked like. Like I knew where I was at the time, there was more to it. Right? That's just how I looked at it. And you know, I one of my favorite quotes as I got older and I started to realize and I read about it was about the unreasonable man, right? Making the world adapt to him instead of adapting to the world. So as I got older, I realized that was me. Like I would be the person that asks why, getting my ass in trouble daily. Teacher ain't make sense. That don't make sense to me. You know, could I have handled the situation better? Yeah, for sure. But I was like, nah, that shit ain't. I gotta prove it wrong. I gotta see, like, I gotta come out the other side and let you know, like, I'm gonna make this shit happen. Like, and that's kind of how, for me, I was always able to persevere and just like, as many times, every time I wanted to quit, I just never quit. Like, and I'm still not quitting right now. You know, going back to Jeezy's story, talking about being homeless. Like, motherfuckers don't realize that AIM wasn't making shit at the time. Like now, this is going on like the true year 3, and like now we're about to finally do what we set out, and we all can eat. Like to me, that is like, and that's just because I never quit. Like motherfuckers be year 1, year 2, like damn, like I'm looking at it like, all right, having the ups and downs. I'm like shit, and then going to make a whole nother jump, right? Leaving New York and doing that because there's a bigger picture. Because I see the world is just like now, like you know, I got to make sure, like Seth said, come out the motherfucking other side of this bitch, right? Like, and just keep going. So for me, it's like, man, just never quit. Like, no matter, you know, just never quit. Just never quit. That's the biggest thing of it all, man. Because I think a lot of people quit too soon. So whatever it is you're doing, you know, either change your plan, and we'll talk about goals and directions as we keep going. That'll make this more, but definitely, man, just never quit. And we'll talk about why people quit on the next episode, man. That'll be where we going with that one next. But word, man. Anything else? Anything else from the people? Anything else?
What we got in these conference championships?
Yeah. Come on, man. Packers. That's it. We ain't even talking about it. Anybody else who want to argue?
I got the Bills winning the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
I got the Bills winning it.
It's Mahomes is playing, right?
Yeah.
Don't matter.
I got Packers Chiefs.
Packers Chiefs.
Packers Bills. Bills win Super Bowl.
If Mahomes is playing, I think Bills get smoked.
Oh no, I don't think Bills get smoked at all.
I just don't like what their offense is doing.
I think the Ravens defense is a lot better than the Chiefs defense.
But the Chiefs offense is a lot better.
Exactly.
It is. I don't think they're a lot.
You got to realize the Ravens, if they had an efficient offense, wins that game easily.
If the Ravens have an efficient offense, they win the Super Bowl.
No, they don't. But no. Stop it. Right. Stop. We gotta cut. No, we gotta stop this.
I'm not disagreeing with that one. I think the Packers. No, I'm always gonna go Packers. My dogs, the dogs. But I think there's some validity to it. I think, and I just think the Bills have. That's part of the game, right? Football gods, they say. Bills have gotten somewhat lucky. I think they should have lost to the Colts. I don't think they played good versus the Ravens. And I don't. If Patrick Mahomes plays, I see Pat Mahomes about to light them up.
This is my only caveat of saying that is that I don't know if the Bills can run. If the Bills run the ball, they didn't run. It's hard to tell when you playing the Ravens with that front. When Calais Campbell and Brandon Williams is playing again, nobody's really running the ball. We saw that with the Texans. When they really don't want you to run the ball, you're not running the ball. I mean, not with the Texans.
Got a front too.
With the Titans.
Please remember, Kansas City has a front. Chris Jones is nice.
And not even go into that. Bills have not been a running team.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing. I like the Bills, man. I like the Bills. I like the Bills to win it.
I got bets. If you want to bet, I got it.
I don't like them enough to bet on them, but
okay then. So you talking Super Bowl? How you don't like them that much? You
What
talking
you mean? I
Super
think they're gonna
Bowl?
win the Super Bowl. Like I said, they're my team.
Got the pack and Chiefs, man. Pack for the win.
If they get against the Super Bowl, I'll bet it against the Packers.
Okay. Say
Yeah.
less.
Bet.
When they get to the when they get to the Super Bowl, I'll bet it against the Packers.
Ooh. So we all going against Tom Brady, huh?
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
That's a good one. That's a good one, man. But hey, appreciate y'all. Keep tuning in, man. Shout out to my guy James, man. RomanLabel.com. Definitely go get that. AimPrecision.com. Check that out. Shout out to DZ coming out soon with some real estate, man. We everybody's doing big things.
Shout out to a pimp named Slickback.
Pimp named Slipback. Shoot, all of our people. Man, just keep tuning in, keep liking, subscribing, man. Get us some followers, man. Get us in, tell a friend and tell a friend. You know how it goes.
This ain't the life that we chose, but it's the life that we live in. No, we belong on the top, but we ain't tripping. Cause we'll get there in a minute. And we'll get there in a minute. Cause we'll get there in a minute. No, we belong on the top, but we ain't tripping. Cause we'll get there in a minute.